myself busy. I ran around in circles, think I made myself dizzy.
All right, welcome back, lovers and friends. It's the boy Trigger Troy, aka the Love Guru. Um, I want to talk about something today that has been on my mind for a while. Um, and and I'll probably redo it with someone, but I was looking for the perfect, person to kind of go over it with me, and I haven't found that person yet. But um, yeah, it is psychedelic healing. Um, Before I go any further, I do want to start the show off in a way that I haven't in a while, and that is with my sound bowl. I just got a newer one from one of my friends and the key of G, so I'm gonna go ahead and start us off there. Okay, feels amazing every single time. um, yes, so psychedelic healing. Um, I am an advocate for psychedelic exploration. I don't believe that it's for everyone. Like most things, unfortunately, everybody can't do everything. But if you are one of those people who believes that you are able to, or whatever the case is, I would always encourage to give it a try. Um, at this point, I am very experienced in shrooms, acid, and as of late, DMT. Specifically, what I really, really wanted to talk about today was my DMT experience. Um, Psychedelics all have a spiritual effect on me. But for the most part, with shrooms and acid, there's this artistic aspect to it for most of the journey for me. But again, there are the spiritual things that happen, but DMT was the most spiritual psychedelic experience I've ever had. Um, it um I did it. Let me see. I'm gonna actually, because what I'm gonna do actually is read from my journal the entry afterwards. My friend kind of let me know that that's one of the things that you'll want to do after, just to kind of get out the experience and everything that happened to you, things like that. And just before I dive into it, I do want to try ayahuasca next. I have not done that, but I do want to try that next. That's kind of the next level for me. But I don't want anyone to, because this is an official resource essentially for people. There's real psychedelic healers and therapists and stuff like that that kind of can guide you through some of these things that you're going through, because essentially it's just really removing all those walls that were there and you're not in control. Doing like shrooms or acid is like 6 8 hours, and DMT is actually the shortest, but it has one of the biggest effects. It literally lasts like a few minutes. um But I'll go ahead and get started on reading my entry. This was July 17th, 2023. Dear Journal, I took DMT yesterday. I don't even know how to explain it or put it into words. I went under 3 times. Each trip was more intense than the last. The first trip was sort of minimal. I closed my eyes and everything was pitch black. They were like white small specks. And really quick, I do want to say what I'll do is I'm gonna add some photos, because I designed some graphics after this experience to try to explain it, or at least give it a visual of what I'm trying to say. So, um, it was pitch black with a bunch of small specks that were basically like stars, and like within the stars, I started to see geometric shapes. They were making those shapes, and then I don't know. Specifically, there was circles, and then I started to see eyes. So it was like stars, eyes, and shapes all around, but also still in pitch black darkness. So everything that I did see was kind of like white or whatever the case is. And that was kind of the gist of the first one. I remember there was this one star that kept getting my attention, and I would look at it, and once I looked at it, it moved around, and I had to re-find it again. So I kept finding and losing this specific star, and it wasn't any different than the other ones for real. It was just a little bit brighter. Like it just caught my attention. Um, and so I wake up because it's honestly maybe 3 minutes. Like DMT is very quick. Um, Afterwards, my DMT like coach or however you want to say, um, he let me know if you feel called back, like if you feel called to go again, you should do it. And I felt that. Like I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm done. And so the second time I went under, I immediately felt overwhelming fear. Like I was terrified. Like I was doing something I should have been doing. Like oh my God, like I shouldn't be here. Like I was genuinely so afraid. And then and what I think it was just my ego. Because I started to see in the stars, it was still black like the first time, but I started to see an outline of a figure, like a person. And they were giant, like it was like huge, like it was on some Lovecraft fucking I can't think of anything with giants right now, but on some just crazy looking shit. But it was a man's figure, but it was just huge. Think, okay, for my Marvel nerds, think Eternity or something like that. So it's like that, and then I'm certain it was my ego because it started to be like you shouldn't be here. You don't know what you're playing with, and I wanted to leave. Like, it was making me leave, and then I started to hear this voice. It was like a woman's voice. It felt like my mom, but I never saw anybody. I just felt it, and it felt like her. And essentially, the voice is just like, you are okay, you're safe, you should be here, kind of thing. Like it's fine. And it literally felt like shoulders, like hands on my shoulders, just kind of like, you're okay. And I let go. Like instantly, the fear just immediately left, and I came down. Like the figure came down to my size and was sitting on the throne. In that moment, it felt like the figure was me. Like I just knew it to be me. The figure got out of the throne and walked through this portal, and turned around, like basically like, come with me. And I did. And when I walked through, it shined with the most vivid blue and green colors I've like ever seen. I remember it. I don't even know. And at the bottom of it was like this white, just underglow sort of thing. And I just remember it being very, very vivid and just fucking gorgeous. Like, um, and I like in that moment, I became super aware of both my body and my spirit. I was aware that I was laying on the ground, that I could feel my body in the physical plane, and then at the same time, I was aware that I was somewhere else. And it was like I was I was in a movie and watching a movie about the same thing. Like I don't know, but it was very interesting. And so in that moment, I'm kind of like moved my body like physically. I started just to make sure, like, okay, I'm not crazy. And I started to move my hands across my eyes. And I don't know if it's just because like I knew that that was my hand or whatever the case is, but I saw it, like my whole ass hand. I saw it and it was glowing and everything. And I'm just like, kind of playing with my hands over my eyes because I had on eye cover, so I couldn't fully see it. So everything was kind of dark for me, essentially, outside of what on the spiritual, like astral plane, I was seeing. My physical body wasn't seeing shit. Um, and I started to get hot, and I felt my body like glowing, like my whole shit was just glowing. And then I went back because, mind you, at this point, like now I'm fully in my body. I took a break from the astral, and so now I'm back in the astral. And then I started to see all these faces. There's this blue and green just light everywhere, and I just started to see faces, all these different faces in it, and it reminded me, nerd moment again, of Professor Xavier when he uses Cerebro. He sees all the faces and everything, and that was kind of what it was like. And I instantly felt a connection, as if all these people, in some way, my life is connected to theirs. and it just reminded me that we are all essentially connected anyway. And it was really overwhelming and sort of beautiful at the same time. And then I woke up or came back. And after this time, I'm just like, holy shit. And I still felt that I had to go back because now at this point, I can feel something in my mind open it up. Like I hate to use the word now, but I've been woke for a while. I've been on a spiritual journey for a while. Like, so my third eye is opened, but I realized there's so much more, and I could feel it almost throbbing and cracking open. So I'm like, okay, I need to go one more time. And this time was the most intense and felt the longest. And ironically, it was the shortest time. I felt my body lift up, like my soul. I felt my physical body did that, and then my spirit was literally like yanked out almost, like it just, and everything sort of melted together. And from there, honestly, I don't remember. Like I came to feeling. All I know is when I came back or whatever, I just felt different. I felt different. Like whatever was in my head, trying to crack open, it was definitely open now. The stretching was gone because it really felt like a stretching move, like someone was doing that. um, and my head was tingling. I don't know what exactly changed, but I feel like the answers lie within the third trip. I can't help but to picture the episode of Lovecraft Country. I am. If for those who haven't seen it, a character named Hippolyta is floating in space, and she's speaking to an entity that is this woman with a fro who's basically like telling her she has successfully integrated into their society, and you can be anything, name yourself, all these things. And it's kind of what it felt like. Like, and just like for a few hours after, or shit, honestly maybe 2-3 days after, every time I closed my eyes, I was right back in that first part of the trip of in space with all these stars and everything. And it was like, I don't know. I think overall, though, the trip allowed me to peel back a layer of my ego and understand I can't do anything alone because I'm never alone. At any given time, I'm connected to everything and everyone. Through this, I can summon or channel love and power from my infinite connections. I'm strong, I'm protected, and I'm loved, and I'm far from alone. I'm also, I remember with the 3 trips, I listened to different frequencies. So the first trip I did 432 hertz. The second one I did 777, and then the last one I did 932. Um, well, I'm not sure which one was which for the last two actually, but yeah. Like I said, I don't think it's for everyone, but I definitely believe that if you are interested in it, it's calling you. So give it a try. DMT again, I think it's a level thing. So I'd always say, shrooms first, then acid, then DMT. But hey, everybody's body is different, so you just never know. But I just don't want anybody to have any misconceptions about it. I had a conversation with somebody recently. It was like, oh, that sounds like a crackhead. Just like Black people always do that. Like, Jesus, try life, experiment. Everything ain't crack. But other than that, I just wanted to share that and my thoughts on it. And I still want to kind of go over it with a guest, so I'll probably be bringing this topic back. But until then, don't forget to follow the official Instagram page for the pod, love_journal podcast. And yeah, love. Peace.
Myself busy, I ran around in circles, think I made